You leave your desk a mess. You stay up way later than you mean to. You catch yourself talking out loud to nobody or zoning out mid-conversation and immediately feel a little embarrassed about it. Here's something that might change how you see all of that. Psychologists have actually studied these exact habits, one at a time, in real experiments, and found that several of them are quietly linked to higher intelligence, not the opposite. Stick around, because habit number 4 is the one almost nobody expects. Habit 1, they can't keep their desk clean, and it might actually be helping them. In 2013, researcher Kathleen Vose at the University of Minnesota ran an experiment putting people in either a tidy room or a deliberately messy one, then had them come up with new uses for a ping-pong ball. The people in the messy room didn't generate more ideas. Their ideas were rated as significantly more creative by independent judges. Vose's theory, disorder in your environment nudges your brain away from convention and toward new, unexpected combinations of ideas. So that pile of papers you keep meaning to organize might be doing more for your thinking than the organizing ever would. Habit 2, they're allergic to early bedtimes, and evolutionary psychologist Satoshi Kanazawa found a genuinely strange pattern behind it. Analyzing data from thousands of people tracked from childhood into adulthood, he found that children with higher IQs consistently grew up to become night owls, going to bed noticeably later than their less bright peers, even decades afterward. His theory, staying up late, goes against humanity's ancient, deeply wired daytime routine, so choosing to override that instinct might reflect a brain that's simply more comfortable breaking from default settings in general. Not proof by itself, but a strangely consistent pattern across a huge dataset. Habit 3, and this one surprises almost everyone, they swear more than you'd expect. In 2015, researchers Kristen and Timothy J. set out to test the old assumption that people who curse just have a limited vocabulary. They gave participants a standard verbal fluency test alongside a taboo word fluency test. Basically, how many swear words can you generate in a minute? The result flipped the assumption completely. People who scored higher on generating everyday words also scored higher on generating swear words. Their conclusion, fluency is fluency. A rich vocabulary of curse words tends to sit alongside a rich vocabulary in general, not instead of one. Habit 4, and this is the one nobody expects. They daydream constantly, and it might be a sign of extra brain capacity rather than a lack of focus. In 2017, a Georgia Tech team scanned over 100 people's brains at rest, then compared that data to how often each person reported daydreaming in daily life. The people who daydreamed most frequently scored significantly higher on tests of intelligence and creativity, and showed more efficient connections between brain regions involved in complex thought. Researcher Eric Schumacher's explanation was almost funny in how simple it was. People with efficient brains may have too much spare capacity to stop their minds from wandering. If you already understood the meeting 5 minutes ago, of course your brain checks out early. Habit 5, they talk to themselves, sometimes out loud, sometimes just narrating their own thinking under their breath. This isn't a quirky flaw either. Research on self-directed speech has repeatedly found that talking through a problem out loud, even alone in a room, improves focus and problem-solving performance compared to thinking silently. It forces you to slow down and structure a thought clearly enough to actually say it, which is a different, often more rigorous process than simply letting an idea drift by internally. So the person narrating their grocery list out loud in the kitchen isn't being strange. They're running a small, effective cognitive tool most people never think to use on purpose. Habit 6, they procrastinate on the exact tasks that matter most, but not out of laziness. Organizational psychologist Adam Grant has pointed to research showing that moderate procrastination on a creative task can actually improve the final result, because it gives the brain unstructured time to keep quietly working on the problem in the background, a process researchers call incubation. The catch is, this only helps when the delay involves continuing to think about the problem loosely, not avoiding it entirely. So that person who swears they do their best thinking right before a deadline isn't making excuses. Their brain may genuinely be using that runway differently than yours does. Habit 7. They wear the same handful of outfits on repeat, and it's a documented psychological strategy, not a lack of style. This is sometimes called decision fatigue, the idea that willpower and decision-making ability are limited resources that quietly deplete throughout the day, one small choice at a time. Simplifying low-stakes decisions like what to wear preserves that mental energy for decisions that actually matter. It's the exact reasoning Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg both gave publicly for wearing near-identical outfits every day for years. Not a lack of care about appearance, a deliberate reallocation of a genuinely limited resource. Here's the thread connecting all 7 of these, and it's worth sitting with. None of these habits cause intelligence, and none of them guarantee it either. Correlation isn't the same as proof. But almost every one of them shares the same underlying shape, a brain that's comfortable breaking from the default setting everyone else follows without question. Tidy desks, early bedtimes, careful language, sustained external focus, immediate task completion, deliberate outfit choices. These are all, in their own small way, the conventional path. What the research keeps finding isn't that intelligent people are trying to be different on purpose. It's that their brains are simply less bothered by drifting away from convention in the first place. So here's the honest reframe. If you recognized several of these in yourself, this isn't a checklist proving anything definitively. Intelligence is far too complex to reduce to 7 habits. But it is a genuine invitation to stop quietly apologizing for things your brain does naturally. The messy desk, the late nights, the daydreaming mid-conversation, these were never necessarily signs of something wrong with you. In each case, real published research found the opposite pattern hiding underneath the habit everyone assumes is a flaw. And if you want to keep learning what the actual research says about how your mind works, instead of the usual recycled advice you see everywhere, that's exactly what this channel is for. This is a good moment to subscribe to Mind Connect, because we dig into real studies like these behind human psychology every single week. So what do you actually do with all this? Simple. Stop fighting the habits that genuinely aren't hurting you. If your messy desk isn't causing real problems, stop forcing yourself to tidy it just because it looks better on camera. If you think better late at night, stop guilt-tripping yourself into an early bedtime that doesn't match how your brain actually works. But stay honest too. Not every messy habit is secretly a genius trait. If a habit is actually costing you sleep, relationships, or real deadlines, that's a different conversation entirely. The goal isn't to excuse everything. It's to stop being ashamed of the specific things that were never actually a problem. So tell me honestly in the comments, how many of these 7 did you actually recognize in yourself? I want an actual number. If this made you feel a little less weird about your own habits, hit like. Subscribe to Mind Connect for more real research on how your mind actually works, and send this to the friend who talks to themselves in the kitchen. They'll know exactly why you sent it. See you in the next one.